Hiya, sexy biscuits, and welcome back into Kingdom Come Deliverance. So in today's video, we're going to be looking at the prototype build for Kingdom Come Deliverance. You can watch this entire stream, and I'll be leaving a link in the description below to it. I want to thank Eldar for sharing this with me, because I've never seen this. So this live stream, starring Daniel Vavra, streamed all the way back on the 18th of February 2014. A full 4 years before the game was released. And there are a lot of differences, and we're going to be reacting to those throughout this stream. Normally, I wouldn't react to a video that's this long, but I've asked Warhorse and they seem okay with it. And without further ado, let's begin. Okay, so we have our first view of Ratai. Now, I'm going to say right now, not a lot is different here. The only thing that we'll see, and I'm going to go forward a bit here, you may notice that there is no wall. So along the side, there's normally a wall here that kind of comes from around here and goes all the way around here. For some reason, that is completely missing here. Now, I'm going to say right now, is it just me, or are the houses closer together? They don't seem as spaced apart as normal. That might be because of the angle we're currently at, but if you look here, I swear there's more space between these buildings. I'm pretty sure they've been moved slightly to the side. I think that's the general store, right? You got there. It's so interesting seeing this look so complete this early on. I mean, you've even got the huntsman who's here, where you go and get the Mockingjay. I think that quest is there. And you've got this whole area is completely done. A full 4 years before we finally got our hands on the game, and I think that's absolutely incredible.
Do you hear me, Henry? Rise, I say.
Okay, so that is Teresa. At first I thought that was his mum, because I didn't know where exactly this was starting. But no, that's Teresa. I don't know if I like her or not yet. I can't work it out. This is before all the faces were decided, and you're going to see that.
Glory be, I thought I'd never rouse you. Bad dreams again?
Most likely. I remember naught of them.
So bloody weird. So of course you haven't got Tom McKay as Henry there, and you definitely don't have Victoria Hogan doing the voice of Teresa. I will say I prefer the released version with the voices and the faces. Although, as we're going to see, there's some weird dialogue stuff happening here.
You still have a fever. Uncle won't be glad to hear it, but you'll have to stay in bed yet.
Where am I? In Skalitz?
No, Skalitz is no longer Hal. They torched it and laid it waste along with the castle. We're in my uncle's mill in Ratais. I knew not where else to go, and he took us in.
What has befallen?
Have you truly no recall? Forsooth, little wonder. You were in a woeful state. I found you in Skalitz after those footpads assailed you.
So, obviously, the dialogue is a lot more, how do I put this? Ye olde. It's definitely a lot more ye olde. And I'm kind of okay with that, oddly. I kind of like that, because that is how they would have spoken. Obviously, these people would have been speaking in Czech, but I actually prefer the angle we have here of her sat on the bed compared to the angle we got in the final game, because that cutscene was okay. This is a lot more intimate, and kind of you're really close to both characters, and I really quite like this. So here is Miller Pascheck's house. This is the first time we're seeing it. I really like the lighting. Does the lighting look better here than it does in the final game? Possibly. The health bar looks awfully similar, which I quite like. And you've got like a rack over where the fire is here, which is quite nice.
Several things about this build. This build is quite old. It's almost over half year old.
So as he just said, this build is already over a half-year old, so this was 4.5 years before the game came out. That's absolutely insane. I will say right now, I'm going to be stopping this video a lot to obviously look at small details, and I'm sorry if I talk over Daniel, but as I said, the entire stream is available. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below to it. I just wanted to go through this in depth.
It's the same build that we showed to the publishers and press. We are using it because it's the most stable build. We have a lot of new features in newer build, but they are not 100% working all the time, so it would be quite buggy. at the same time, it runs on for the same reason. It runs on the older version of CryEngine. So some things like PBR or several other features are not working.
We're outside for the first time. One thing I did notice is that it says Ratais. It doesn't say Ratai. And she also said Ratai. So obviously they've changed that over the course of the game into the English translation of Ratai. This looks similar, but we do have a fenced off area over to our right over here, which is a little bit different.
Some assets and mostly animations are going to be much better. So right now there are no facial animations motion captured, and they are going to be motion captured. The faces of the characters are also just placeholders right now.
Okay, so we have a better look inside here, and you can see that we've got our chest, which is still there in the final game. You've got this box here, which is where you end up getting your pancakes, or now bread rolls, because they changed it in the last update. You've got one bed now, compared to two, obviously being lengthways, and you've got a table in here. I really like how this looks, actually. I think this looks more like a home than Miller Pascheck did in the final game.
This quest was, or this build was done to showcase our ability to develop the open world RPG to the publishers. So it includes all the core mechanics. The quest itself is very simple. It's also at the beginning of the game, so you need to collect some stuff and start with first small quest.
So I'm wondering, did they have the Scarlet sequence at this point? Because we started here immediately, and we know that they changed quests later because there are certain quests where characters are in completely different towns. I'm wondering if the Scarlet sequence even happened at the start. That's really fascinating.
Right now, as you can see, I see my body.
Better than most Fallout games.
I really pick up objects or push items, open the door and stuff. So it's first person, but it's not floating camera. All the time you see your character, and when you do
Have you eaten?
cutscene, you see your or branching dialogues, you see your character as well.
Oh, wow.
Why did you not flee?
Oh, the faces.
The castle, so I hid in the mill. I saw them slaughter my parents, the pagan curs. By the time I dared to creep out, everyone was gone.
So obviously the start of the game did happen in Skalitz,
I waited till they left.
but did we see it in this build?
So you're braver than many a man to do so.
I don't know if I like that dialogue system or not. I mean, it's okay. Is your family safe? How did you bury them? I must leave. So it's kind of similar to the options that were in the final game, but everything's a bit too close together. I do quite like, though, the notepad, like, in the background that kind of fades into the game. I think that does look really, really nice.
I must
So
leave.
basically,
Fare
this
thee
quest
well.
is about
Mind thyself.
early in the game. Your hometown was burned down by an invading army, and you were saved by this girl. She took you to a mill next to the closest town, and neighbors or people from your town who managed to survive escaped to the castle up the hill, were given protection from another lord. So now your liege lord and your friends are hiding behind the walls of the city and the castle.
I do want to point out that obviously the quality of this video is only 720p, because of course this was recorded all the way back in 2014. 1080p full high quality live streams weren't really as big back then, so unfortunately the only video we've got of this is in this 720p, and the bitrate isn't fantastic. So I apologise for that, obviously, but I think we can still get a good impression of what this game had. And I really hope, and I know I've asked this multiple times, I hope that they release this build at some point. Even if it's just Ratai, I don't care. I want to explore this version of the game. There's a lot more trees, right? It's not just me. There is a lot more foliage going on here. I really quite like that. Wow. Hang on a minute. One thing's missing. People are gonna be pissed. The bathhouse is missing. Where's the bathhouse? It should be right there, and it's gone. Someone stole the bathhouse. It's a lot more of a trek. Also, where's that small farm with the dog and Is it there? Have they moved it up? No, that's the other side of the river. Oh, this is really quite fascinating. You know what? This looks more like real life Ratai, because I've done the videos going through on Google Street View and stuff, and this looks more like the path up to Ratai than it did in the final game. So this is actually more accurate in theory. But of course, we miss out on the bathhouse and that small little farmstead.
We already built quite a large piece of the world. There is right now no music. We didn't license all the music we use as a placeholder stuff, which was awesome, by the way. But we cannot play it because we didn't license it.
Oh, so that's fascinating. So you don't have the do 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 do. I'm kind of sad now. Oh, that's cool. Look at that. When you get close to Ratai, it comes up with the city of Ratai. That's fancy. Although, now it doesn't have the S next to it. Make your bloody mind up. God damn it.
Oh,
One of the first
who goes
game
there?
mechanics, branching dialogues.
Henry, son of the Scallops blacksmith.
Oh.
I'm going to see my master. So
I really like the camera angles. I really love how this looks. It's a lot more dense, right? There's a lot more greenery and just small assets on the side of the road. And I understand why they had to kind of hold it back a little bit, because the current consoles couldn't handle it. If you had released this only on PC, I think that this game would have looked better, because they would have put more time into getting it to run better on PC only. And that is one instance, I suppose, of consoles kind of holding PC back. I mean, now obviously we've got the Series X coming out, and that is amazing. That's basically a high-end PC on its own. And I can't wait to see what they do with that. But that would explain why this original build at this point looked really bloody good.
Radzig Kobyla.
And I'm the Pope and my left foot is a hoof. Why do you want him, and why would I let you near him?
I brought his sword and I must speak with him.
But I see no sword.
The animations are so good.
Then you no longer need to...
I love the camera cuts. They're really nice. Also, I really love that outfit. That looks better, right?
We have a branching dialogues in the game, which is quite normal. But what's a little bit different is that there are points of no return where you need to decide what you will tell to the other characters. So
Let me go to
here
my
I can
master,
threaten
or
the
he'll
guy
hear
that
of
I
your
will tell it to
insolence.
my master.
Ah, telltale. Run along then. I relish seeing them drive you out with a cat and nine tails.
In the final game, you definitely had more persuasion choices. In this, you seem about to get in either way, which is kind of interesting.
So in branching dialogues, I have a lot of choices, and I cannot take back what I say. Most of the time, when there are some decisions to be made, and you choose something, you cannot take it back. You cannot try the other option. So it works as you would. As a combat, for example, if you attack someone, he will be your enemy. If you kill someone, he will disappear from the game. If you say something wrong, it will also change your relationship with the character, and you cannot take it back.
And that's how it should be. I think that character choice is so important and so good in Kingdom Come. It would be nice, let's say, if you did accidentally hit someone, if there was the option to be like, I'm sorry, I did that. Hopefully that's something they could implement. But I love RPGs that do that. They make you think, right, I'm going to have an effect here. I am stepping on this butterfly and it's going to have consequences throughout the entirety of my game. A game to do that really well was New Vegas, obviously. I mean, I'll talk about that game enough. But New Vegas did it really well, where if you started messing around and killed a load of Legion around the start of the game, around halfway through, you kind of get a final, right, look, we will forgive all your actions, but if you do anything else from this point onwards, that's it. So it gave you that little safety net just in case you had made the wrong choice and then got halfway through the game and realized, oh, maybe that was a terrible, terrible mistake.
By the way, all the dialogues are just temporary. We used mostly British expats who live in Czech Republic.
Oh, okay, that kind of explains the voice acting then, because it's not bad, but I would say that you can definitely tell that they're real British people. But it's also not fantastic. It's not on the level of something like Tom McKay did, or Victoria Hogan, or Lou Dale. And that actually explains quite a lot. But let's be honest, they have done a pretty good job in this.
Well, if it isn't
Shakespearean
Hal,
language.
the blacksmith's boy.
Well, I never. 'Tis so. What are you doing here? We thought you were done for.
I was waylaid by footpads and scallops.
God's teeth! Why did you go back? Who do you think you'd find there, say?
This voice acting is so bad. I take back everything I said. How lay there be? You went all the way back to Scallops, you did. Yeah, no, no. Good God.
I wanted to bury my parents.
Give it more emotion, Henry. I wanted to bury my parents. I literally just said it was okay, and then these two come along. And it just ruins everything.
Well, fair due. I heard what your father did at the gate.
He saved my life.
Not only yours, he was a good man. You did well to bury him.
In the end, it wasn't I who did it. Nor did I help him at the gate.
Well, what could you have done? You'd both be dead now.
I recognise his voice. I'm pretty sure that voice actor's in the final game. I mean, I'm assuming they kept some of the original voices, but I really do recognise him.
He did it for you, so live to make him proud.
Yeah, I recognise that voice so much.
Indeed? What are you here for, then?
'Tis a long story. I must see Sir Radzig. Is he here?
Tell us about it anon then. Gul Cobilla's in the palace with Lord Johan, Burgrave of Rat Eyes. They're feasting in a knight's hall.
Thanks.
So, the language, again, we were experimenting with the different kinds of accents, and we tried to use kind of period Shakespearean language, but right now it seems quite a little bit too much, so we will work on this a little bit. In the final game it will be probably more contemporary. Contemporary? Is it the right word? More current.
Oh, so that explains why it became what it did. That's really fascinating. I kind of, Daniel was answering some of the questions that I'm having. It's kind of interesting to hear him answering stuff that I've just asked. Because, of course, this was recorded 4 years ago, so it's kind of time-bending. Oh, what does Radzig look like? Oh, my God.
There's naught here for thee. Be gone, stable
Stand
boy.
down, Sighard.
Oh, there he is. I had to pause it when he had his eyes closed.
It's Henry. How did you get here, Hal?
He looks okay, I guess. Not as good as the final Radzig, though, obviously. Also, that food looks disgusting. What happened? It looks like it's all gone off. I mean, it's really detailed. I mean, incredibly detailed, but... Ew.
I thought I'd seen the last of you.
God save you, sir. I had to return to Scallops to bury my parents.
Oh, you know, I just popped down the shop. I forgot to get some milk. That's the level of emotion here. It's amazing.
Well, it was not mayhap the wisest course, but I understand. Your father was a good man, and your mother... 'Twas dastardly what Sigismund's barbarians did to them. You did right to spare them from the dogs and ravens.
It was not I who buried them in the end, sir. Before I could, footpads set upon and near killed me. I wouldn't be here if someone hadn't helped me.
And who is this good Samaritan?
The miller's daughter.
The miller's daughter overcame...
Oh, no! His eyes! He looks like a Muppet! What? Hang on! Let me go back 1 second.
The miller's daughter overcame...
He looks like he has strings! Oh, that's made my day, that has. Oh, I love him. Please let him be in Kingdom Come 2, please. I really love him.
Came the footpads who almost killed you.
Oh, this was worth it just for this. Oh, he looks like he's passed out. Oh, it's amazing. Oh, this is he's the thumbnail. He is he has to be the thumbnail. Oh, please stop. You're terrifying me.
She waited till they left, buried my parents and took me to Rat Eyes.
Now that's a goodly wench.
I can't take him seriously. No, stop. Oh, boy. It's... What are those little aliens in Mass Effect? Those really short, stout ones. The ones with the necks. And they have those kind of masks on. He looks like that.
You know that means that purgatory awaits them.
Quiet, Pope's nose.
Pope's nose.
while spouting sermons.
Oh,
Worry, worthy father. Mayhap you should go at once to Skalitz and save those goodly Christians' immaculate souls by consecrating their graves. I'm sure that should the footpads waylay you like Henry and murder you, your soul would speak to heaven. And I assure you, we would bury you only in holy ground.
Sure, if we could even find the carcass. The dogs and ravens would soon devour such a
also his beard, have you noticed? It's like little blobs of hair just placed multiple times over. He's like a fake beard. He's gone and got some glue, rubbed it all over his face, and then just gone to a hairdresser's and picked up a load of hair. Oh, this is amazing.
swag belly as yourself. And how then would we tell the Christian bones from those of Sigismund's
What's that voice?
One bone is like another.
What now, Henry? Is there somewhere you can go?
I must recover your sword.
My sword?
Spoilers, he never do.
Here at my
Take him seriously.
I'm not sure if he's a fool or...
He's just looking at that piece of fucking chicken. Oh my god.
So I will skip the rest of the cutscene.
Oh, thank you. Please do.
Bandits attacked the nearby stables and hamstrung horses.
Oh, so you're getting into this a lot quicker then, because doesn't this take place slightly after this? This isn't immediately afterwards, is it? I mean, you can, I suppose, go and do it quite quickly, but that's kind of interesting. We're going to head to Neuhof.
But since you are quite poor guy, he gave you some money to buy some armor and get a sword from the local blacksmith, and then you will have to go to see his men and ride with them to the stables.
Oh,
We
hang on. There's a pretty big difference there. So, in front of you, of course, if you go left, you'll be coming around into Ratai Town Centre. In front, if I point this out, in front, this building doesn't exist in the final game, because this is a whole path up here where the guard tower is, and where you can get the armor and stuff when you're working with Nightingale. So that's kind of interesting that this building was here. It's kind of in the way. It looks out of place. It's weird, even though it is obviously connected. That's really fascinating. So that's interesting. This whole path has been moved to the right. So this would normally be coming out below the stocks. So you're coming out down here. This building, I don't think is in the final game, because isn't this one of the... Isn't it armorers? I never can remember which one it is. It's not the armorers, is it? It's the weapons, I think. Okay, so this is a great angle. Also, I'm going to say right now, no frame rate drops. Ratai seems to be running quite well. Better than it did in the final game. Let's have a look here. So we've got the stocks here. So yeah, here we go. So you've got the armorer here. You've got the weapons here. And that's where the path would be. So this building, and this building, it really shouldn't be here. And this should be, because there's one of the market stands here, and there's a market stand here, isn't there, in the final game. So this whole area got rearranged. I will say it looks a bit too kind of packed in here. So I'm glad they did move it. But walking up, it looked the right distance, which is really bizarre.
we showed it to you when we were in his dungeons.
So this is obviously where the wall would be, and we've got these guys training like in the middle of the town. That's really interesting. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad without the wall being there. I don't really know why they put the wall there after this. I'm assuming they got rid of these people, and then they're like, well, it's kind of a bit open and empty right now. So they ended up putting the wall up to make it look a bit more realistic, I suppose.
Right now, my goal is to go to the...
What was that running animation?
Right now,
I'm busy, I must go. Here we go. What? Brilliant. Oh, whoa, look at that map. Oh, I like that. That's nice. I'm not too sure about the font on the buttons, but everything else there looks really cool. I like that. So it, I'm assuming, had a legend system, and also we can see that the legend doesn't seem to show the buildings to the bottom left here, so we haven't got the armor and all that down here. Is the armor going to be somewhere else? Probably. Oh, okay, yeah, that has moved.
of course,
Oh. Oh, I love the shop. That looks really nice.
Things, young man.
interiors will look.
What do you
The interior looks incredible. So much more stuff. Like, that's the main thing I'm taking away from this. More stuff. Not enough. There's not enough in the final game, I think, is what we've come to the assumption of right now.
Look much better with PBR lighting, but
I think this
I
looks
would say
incredible.
they are quite nice, even now.
You've even got the back of the store there. You've got some scales.
Which you will see right now is
Whoa.
God save you,
final as
young
well.
master. How may I serve you? From your attire, I reckon you'll need most everything.
His voice is also very, very familiar. I'm thinking he's in the final game as well.
If you have enough money for it. If so, I can offer you the best goods in these parts.
Oh, here we go. We've got a first look at the inventory system, and I'm going to say right now, that is almost complete, right? I mean, the font over to the left-hand side is slightly different. You've got these kind of more kind of highlighted areas, which I kind of like, actually. You've kind of got... It shows where the next section is. So you've got a bastard sword here, iron hat. Iron hat, is that... I don't think that's an item in the final game, is it? That's the first time we've seen that. Topless Henry. You can't do that in the final game. Bloody trouserless Henry. Oh, this is brilliant.
It's very complicated, and it's exactly the stuff we are going most likely to share with Star Citizen guys. They want to use it in their game.
Wait, were Warhorse working with Star Citizen? Well, that game hasn't even come out yet. I think it's still in bloody alpha, isn't it? I did not know that. That is news to me. So, yeah, there's a connection between Star Citizen and Kingdom Come. Interesting.
I am in the service of Sir Radzig Kobyla. Your master, Sir Johann, sent me. He orders that you give me a sword so that I can ride with his men against brigands.
Dost thou think I'd fall for such a jest?
That's kind of interesting. So you have to convince him that you've been asked. Wouldn't he give him a note or something? I don't know. Send him a text. I need a sword to fight. I'm going for a guard. Give me the sword now. Oh, that's fantastic.
We mentioned that there is going to be a bard. It's not a class, but you can play as a bard, so you can talk yourself out of troubles. You will be able to collect stories and tell them to people.
Sorry, what? When was that in the game? Did they take that out? Oh, that sounds really good.
I can tell him to give me the sword now, threaten
I've
him if I'm...
noticed that the game's paused right now, but if you look at Henry, keep an eye on his eyes, right?
strong enough or have nice armor and look like a warrior.
Blink.
Because he's going to be scared.
That's so creepy.
And how would a stable boy like thee know what a sword looks like if he's never held one?
I'm the son of the Skalitz blacksmith.
Forsooth? Then why did you not go to him?
Because he's dead.
Because he's dead, okay? There, you happy? You big dingus?
We will have mining, fishing, cooking, so it's going to be...
Sorry, what? Mining? Fishing? I bloody wish they had fishing. That's one thing I always bloody wanted in Kingdom Come Deliverance. Cooking, yes, that is a thing. I suppose it's kind of limited, but yes, that is a thing. Mining would be awesome. That's incredible. I love playing games where you can just go down into a mine and grab a load of cool loot, like in Skyrim. I really like Skyrim's little mining mini game. But fishing? Oh, I wish they had implemented that. Please implement that for Kingdom Come 2, please.
Be a little bit like Cooking Mama or something.
If only Kingdom Come had come out and the minigame was like Cooking Mama. Fantastic. Oh, this is the first appearance of this big, massive courtyard. Obviously, we don't have the fighting arena. That's completely missing. Also, this looks a tad bit small, right? Huh. That's interesting. I'm glad they added it, though, because obviously that's really good fun, especially for the Tournaments DLC. That obviously wasn't a thing they were planning at the time. Is that Pebbles? Oh my god, is that Pebbles?
Things, as I said, faces, facial hair, and such things. So,
Ooh, the horse animation, getting on the horse is a little bit slower. I quite like that. A bit more realistic. Whoa, what was that?
Right now
Did you see that? Oh my god, okay, right, I've got to pause that in editing. Okay, I will put it here. I don't know if that was good or not, but if it was funny. I don't know if it was funny. I want to see it again though. Here we go. And but Spamadooshki. Oh, this is really fascinating. We're actually getting another view out here. So, there is a farmstead here, right? In the final game. Because you got all the sheep up on here. Now, this is where you train. Huh. That's not a thing anymore. And also, this is more farmland than it used to be. Yeah, this whole area is completely different now. Plus, I really like this fence they've got going along here. That's really, really nice.
And now we will see the countryside. It's quite large. We already built.
Okay, so you do have an empty field here. There is a fence around it. I'm wondering if this is what became the training ground. So when he rides up here, we can get a better view of it. Yeah, so this, I'm guessing, is where you train in this little field here.
It's quite large. We already built about 1/3 of the map.
This is identical. Wow.
What churls would do such devilry?
The angles and everything are the same, right?
By all that's holy, what does this signify?
Yeah, I'm really glad they recast. By the gods, what does this signify? Oh no. What? Yeah, not good. Not good. I'm glad they didn't release the game like this, because there was a Kickstarter goal to make the voice acting better, which thankfully they passed. If they hadn't, then we would have got this, I think, which is not good.
I know not, Corporal. Someone came at night and hamstrung them, killed a stable boy who awoke, and then torched the stables.
A guy with long hair. Do we really see that in the main game? I don't recognise characters having long hair. I quite like that.
They were still alive when I arrived, and I had to put them down. What monster does such things?
Did they steal anything? Take any horses?
Not one. It seems they came only to kill and vandalize.
Have you a quarrel with someone? Do you know of someone who would seek revenge?
No one. But even if I did have foes, Sblood, who would do such a thing to God's innocent creatures?
Folk are worse than beasts. Did you see anything? How many there were? Whither they...
That guy in the background. What happened there? Hang on, I need to go back. What was he expecting? Was he like, oh god, a dead horse? You know, really? You're right next to it. Look, wait, ready?
Did you see anything?
Whoa! Did it bloody open its eyes or something? What happened there?
How many there were? Whither they went and what they looked like?
Oh, it's moving! Oh no, I didn't see that the first time! Oh, that's horrible. No, I don't like that. I'm glad they're fully dead in the final game. Good god. That's awful.
So this starts a bigger quest line where you are going to search for the bandits. You will be acting kind of like medieval investigators, so you will interrogate people, try to find clues. You can threaten people, search for somebody who saw something. Similar things will happen in other villages and towns, so it's kind of a bigger, much bigger event, and in the end, when you will find out who did it, you will realize that they are much stronger than you expected, and you will have to have some allies to fight with them. So it's a very big quest line. We will show you the latest visuals, latest features like AI, some herd simulation of the sheep and stuff.
Wow. Wow. I obviously YouTube's ruined this video. They've ruined this video, but look at the lighting as you enter this canopy here. Look at that. That's incredible. Yeah, I'm going to say right now, this looks better than the final game. I hope that they can implement this stuff back into the game now that the consoles are going to be a lot more powerful than they were. Yeah, this looks incredible.
The build is currently running on the latest version of CryEngine, the same version that runs Rise, and has the latest technology. So we will show you the combat, and then we will show you the latest build.
I suppose this is the best shot we're going to get of this when it isn't all pixelated. Yeah, you've got those light shafts coming down here, which look really good. You've got the light bouncing off this tree and underneath the leaves here. And of course, you've also got the shadowed areas here. I was always told that the pre-release build looked better in the forests, and of course I never got a chance to see it, because back then I wasn't covering Kingdom Come, and Warhorse weren't going to go and send me a copy, because I only had like 10 subscribers, but I really like this. So we're going to see combat here for the first time.
Lo,
Oh,
we have
sorry.
company.
Oh, that animation. Oh boy. Oh, well, that's exactly the same. I was expecting it to be completely different, but no, you have the perfect block on LB. You have the exact same star system.
But I need to
Yep.
warn you a little bit. This version of the
Oh, hang on. Saying that, I would say that's a lot more fluid. Let's play that from the beginning. Right, hit.
older than what we showed
That's
in the
really
thing,
nice. Because in the final game, I mean, they do attack fast at times. And majority of the time you have time to back up, and it's slow, it's methodical. In this, it was attack after attack after attack, and that looked more realistic.
features, but the animations are looking a little bit better
Oh, nice.
than the latest version, but
No, oh, I love that little tap they do on the end of the sword. That's really cool.
this version,
Hit, bam. Oh, look at that.
years of work ahead of us.
Oh, the bloody pixelation, but look at that.
Showing you the difficulty of the game. He's set to be very tough. Just.
Oh, there he goes.
We can show you
Oh, just hit straight to the head. Okay, so they're going to switch to the other build. I want to see what the 4-year build looked like compared to this 4.5-year build.
Alpha will start in about 6 months from now.
Okay, so I'm seeing the frame rate up there of 25 FPS, which is... We all know that very well from Kingdom Come Deliverance. It's cinematic. So this looks a lot more similar to what we finally got. And I'm going to say right now, it's a downgrade. It is a downgrade. I did like what we were seeing earlier. I don't know if the forests in this look like they did earlier, but I'm... Yeah. So I think Warhorse think this looked better. I personally don't. I liked the more realistic look of the earlier build that we saw a few minutes ago. When people pointed out the differences between Watch Dogs, do you remember when that original game trailer showed all this amazing gameplay and the world had so much detail, and then the final game came out and it didn't look anything like that? It feels like that, but with this right now, because it's such a big difference compared to what we just had. I like how he's covered up the frame rate with his webcam, because this isn't running past 15 frames right now, I don't think. Oh, that definitely wasn't. It's an older build. I understand that. I know. I'm only poking fun, but this town looks awfully similar to how it does in the final game. I can't remember the name of this town. This isn't Ledechko. It looks a little like Ledechko, but I don't think it is. Okay, please go in the forest. Please go in the forest right now, because that looks like what we have in the final build. The grass is definitely more thick, is one thing I'll say. I mean, that grass in front of him looks really nice. So I am skipping through this quite a lot, because there really isn't anything here that we haven't seen.
Right now we are still investigating the pole weapons, like halberds. They are kind of problem in interiors and against horses, and we...
Oh, okay. So this answers one of those time-old questions about where are the halberds and all that. And here you go. This is the answer you've been looking for.
Find out if it's possible or achievable in Act 1 to have them.
Act 1. Do you hear what he said then? He said Act 1, because this is Act 1. Kingdom Come Deliverance is Act 1. Their whole mentality on this Act thing is very confusing, because at first it was said that the game was going to be split into 3 different parts. So you'd have Kingdom Come Deliverance, you then have, I don't know, Retribution or Revenge or Electric Boogaloo, and then you'd have Part 3. But according to Toby and others, since this happened, they decided, no, we're just going to make it into one game, which really doesn't make any sense, because they don't finish the game in Kingdom Come Deliverance, and also the title really doesn't make much sense. Anyway, so, yeah, it's all based around the sword. So, of course, Kingdom Come Deliverance is that deliverance of the sword to Radzig, and then Kingdom Come Revenge or Retribution will be getting that back, but I'm assuming we'll have a part 3 where we'll have this epic finale and finally take out all of the humans. But we have to wait and see, really.
And the flails are sadly, because it's a very cool weapon, they are not going to be in Act 1 at least, because they...
That's very true. We don't have flails in Kingdom Come Deliverance, which is Act 1. So it's kind of interesting to hear him actually talking about this, because no one has talked about any of this since. They've kind of gone quiet on it, and for me that's really bloody annoying, because I like to poke and kind of look behind the scenes and find out exactly what's going on, but they've really closed their doors on that, and I think this kind of shows quite an interesting, in-depth look that we don't really get from Warhorse anymore in terms of what's happening with these acts. So yeah, that's kind of fascinating.
A lot of people, when he announced the Xbox and PS4 versions, a lot of people start to be scared that we are going to dump down the PC version or something, which is definitely not the case.
It kind of is. I mean, we can see from just this video, just this live stream, the difference. We look back at the start of the live stream and you have this incredibly full world. And then you go to this, which looks awfully similar to the final game. It's incredible that they had all this done by this point. This is still 4 years off of the release of the game. But no, I really do think they did. Now, I don't know if that was Warhorse's decision. I don't think it probably was. I think that it was a mix between the game just wasn't running well enough on consoles, and they decided to kind of match the quality, because if they had released the build that we saw at the start of this stream, so you have this amazing looking build, if they had released this on PC and gone ahead and released that on consoles, people would have been like, "What? Hang on a minute, what's going on here?" It's jarring, because of course we have experienced and know the final build of the game, so of course we knew no different. I mean, this looks incredible. It has so much more contrast and colour. This looks washed out, and I will account to that. In all of my videos, have always edited my videos to have more saturation. I've had people comment asking, why doesn't my game look like this? If the game had come out looking like this, it would have blown people away. But the Xbox One and PS4 wouldn't handle this. There's no way. And I want to make it very clear, I'm not bashing Kingdom Come Deliverance here, and I'm not bashing Warhorse. I think they did what they had to do to get it to run as well as possible, and the fact if it ran at all on Xbox One S, I mean, Jesus, or even the original Xbox is crazy. The game is massive and the game is beautiful, but after seeing what we've seen today in terms of just the forested areas, it's honestly night and day. I mean, you put this alongside the forest in KCD now, and it's quite jarring, right? I'm probably going to leave it here because I think we've seen everything we need to see. I really, really enjoyed doing this. And I know this video has been very long, and I'm completely aware of that. I have cut round stuff. I've cut past stuff. I mean, there's certain bits where they were just walking around and weren't showing anything new. I've tried to make this as interesting as possible for you guys, because obviously it's a bit awkward having Daniel there and me talking over him, and obviously if he ever sees this, then I will say, sorry, but there is no other footage like this that we can just go and see, and this is our only look at this era of Kingdom Come Deliverance, and that's quite sad, really. I really do believe that game development studios, when they're developing a game, should have a different version of each build available to go back to. Maybe even release that to YouTubers. I mean, myself, I would definitely love to play this build of the game. I think it would be fascinating, and I think that a lot of people would watch. I know that for a fact. I think a lot of people would watch. I really do believe that would be beneficial for them to do, because this isn't besmirching the game we have now, apart from the forest, because they're goddamn beautiful. But I think we're going to end this by showing Crazy Eye McGee. I have to. Oh, it makes... Oh, I love him. I love him. He's my favourite character in the whole game. He literally is just a Muppet that got on set one day, isn't he? And just replaced the character. I I love him. I love him so much.
Pads who almost killed you.
Oh, I really hope he becomes a meme. I want to make him a meme. He deserves this after so many years of no one seeing his face. I make him put him on the internet. Just do something with him. Anyway, I want to hear what you guys think about this. I hope you enjoyed this very long video. But until next time, that's me out. Bye, guys.